Hi, this is Phyllis Lardnoy, Coordinator for Elementary Guidance and Counseling, and I'd like to welcome you and thank you for taking the time out to watch this online module of coaching in situations of bullying. I'd like to start with a review of bullying, and then we'll do a brief review of receiving a report of bullying, and then get into the meat of this, which is coaching those who bully and coaching those who are bullied. I'm hoping that you're watching with a colleague so that you can do some partner practice. If not, I am happy to meet with you face to face and you can do some practice with each other. It really does make a difference to have a few chances to role play before you actually do the coaching. A quick review. A fight, although we would often think of it as bullying because of its physical aggression, a fight is really not bullying, nor is an argument, nor is back and forth name-calling bullying. Because bullying differs from conflict and differs from a fight because of the dynamics, the power dynamics, then our response needs to differ. So if you can think of a conflict or fights as being two-sided, think of it as a back and forth kind of situation. However, it might be very negative. It's still back and forth rather than one-sided. And therefore, the parties involved do have equal power to solve it. Therefore, those who are involved in a fight or a conflict can be asked to work together to resolve it. They may need help, especially elementary age kids. The goals should be not necessarily to like each other or to become friends, but the goal should be helping the kids to come up with a plan so that each of them is respected and that each of them is respecting the other. So the goals then are to disagree well, to be able to be at a spot where they can be with each other and can be respectful. I like to tell kids, if you end up being friends or you end up agreeing or you end up liking each other, that's great, but that's not necessarily the goal. Mutual respect is our goal in conflict resolution. So to recap, bullying, that involves an imbalance of power. The action or actions are one-sided. Bullying involves an intent to harm. And oftentimes, in order for it to be considered a bullying situation, the behaviors have to be repeated, but not necessarily always, and it depends a lot on the power dynamics. Many of you know this from previous presentations, but just to recap, the power in bullying can come from somebody's age, their size, their status, their reputation, let's say for being a nasty person, their knowledge, their skills, being a member of a group, having a lot of things, and again, it would be using that inappropriately to intimidate someone, to threaten, to scare them, to ruin their reputation. It could be appropriate power that is misused. Oftentimes it's inappropriate power. So bullying can be emotional, relational, could include social exclusion, leaving somebody else out on purpose. It could be tricking someone, using something somebody knows and purposely tricking them into being embarrassed or having their reputation ruined. There's cyberbullying, and of course the typical we think of, the physical bullying. Just want to add something about cyberbullying because it seems to be expanding so much lately. And one of the things that happens in the dynamics of cyberbullying is that someone who's sending a text or sitting at a computer keyboard somehow feels emboldened because they're not face-to-face with the person. Also, because of the dynamics that happen in electronics, that message that's demeaning to somebody or ruining somebody's reputation can be spread so far wide so quickly, and it can be so damaging. So when you think of bullying, think of the dynamics being that it's one-sided, there's a power difference, and remember it's not always appropriate power, but sometimes it is inappropriate power or appropriate power being misused. Bullying involves intentional actions and it's often repeated action. This is really important to remember that if there is ever an imbalance of power, therefore a bullying situation, we never want to ask the two students to sit together to resolve it. We can do that in a conflict resolution, but never when the power difference is in a bully, like it is in a bullying situation. If you think about what it would be like for a victim of domestic violence to be set in a room with the perpetrator and then asked to talk about the situation, it would be so intimidating and disempowering to the victim, and it would be empowering or emboldening for the person who's the perpetrator. And the dynamics are the same in bullying, so we never ever want to put them together. But what we want to do is determine if it is a conflict or if it's bullying, and then handle each